Man, oh man, winning time does it again. Season two, episode 6 is here. Be the late episode, another great one in the books. Masterclass, I call you honors. They did yet again, continuing a great season of winning time that we've been getting. Appreciate y'all so much for tuning in yet again. It's your boy G along with Alec here and 6300. Continue to like, rate, you subscribe, comment, share how you show love. Appreciate it all. And yeah, jumping into it, man, they picked up right from where they left off last episode. We saw they had the beat LA chance. We saw they had the F Boston chance at the end. We carry on from there to the 1982 championship, and the Lakers going on to win that and feeling like they're on top of the world, but still wanting to get the Celtics in the process. They've gotten a couple championships now and wanted to get the matchup of Bird and Magic together and haven't got it just yet. So even in their success, they still feel like there still is another step for them to complete, which is going against Boston in the finals. And it goes on from there to the 1983, and they kind of breeze through that season in a way, get to the finals versus and they want to face. I think they're going to face the Celtics this year, and the Celtics fall short again. Boston being Boston, I'll throw a little jab in there. They come up short, and the Lakers end up playing against the Sixers in that round. And before I dive further than that, Alec, just tell you your first thoughts about how this episode went.
Yeah, I thought, once again, another great episode. So we probably sound like a broken record now at this point, but it's great television, man. I thought this
tag, man. Season 3, they haven't official greenlit it yet. This show has been killing it every episode and continues to deliver. Definitely do with this one, so definitely need to keep this rolling.
Yeah, I think coming off the highs of last episode, I was wondering like what they would do to continue on that trajectory and top it. And I thought that came with another great one. This one a little bit more focused on like the personal lives and personal developments and the different relationships of their individual lives. But I thought it was still very compelling television for sure.
Very compelling and in a good way. And as we get back to where I was saying, as we said, we wanted to get the matchup between the Magic and Bird there and didn't get it and ended up getting the Sixers instead. And they still had a job to complete. But obviously we're hurt that it wasn't the team that they wanted, which shouldn't be a complete knockoff to their game. But in this case, it was. They came out flat against the Sixers, and the Sixers took advantage. And something I have pointed out, I think a couple episodes ago, was like I wanted to see like we need to get a chance to talk about Kareem kind of getting not punked, but getting kind of beat up a little bit by Malone and all those guys down low as he's becoming an aging star. Still was one of the best players of all time, as we know. But we saw that the game was changing. The guys were getting a little more muscle, and he was trying to adapt to the changes of it all. And we saw it during that first round game series where they lost a couple episodes ago. Now we saw it again versus the Sixers here. Now he was struggling to keep up with Malone. The whole team, as a result, failed to match up with them. So you need to see that in depth. I thought was great. Before we dive more into Kareem, what do you think about this series and how they depicted that?
Yeah, I wrote down. I was like, they didn't show Malone dominating him like against the Rockets in that
they went light
series before. But this episode, they showed him getting his shit sit back. Yeah. Like he was getting beat up in the post in that Sixers series.
I was cracking up because the whole team was trying to be on their stuff. They eventually a slight fast forward, but still in the series. They ended up going down 0-3 in the series, and Magic's like, I'm gonna still be me. We're gonna find a way to come back. Nobody's done before, but we're gonna be the first. And he came out trying to be his Magic. And it didn't work. He was throwing all the passes, and they were like, "Bro, like, what you doing?" All his passes, and then all of that, nothing was working. I was dying, bro. I'm like, bro, all the flash was falling flat. Same with Magic and Kareem as we started with, and the whole squad, and they ended up getting swept. And it was a wild thing to see. So yeah, going back to you and Kareem, just how it depicted. Just any more thoughts on how they showed that?
Yeah, I mean, they showed Kareem himself, but the whole rest of the team getting their ass kicked too. Norm Nixon was on skates on defense too, like just getting embarrassed. Like they didn't take it easy on them this time. They showed the beat down. And a sweep is tough in the finals. A sweep is pretty nasty. So yeah, I thought it was I guess like interesting to see the brutal side of the Lakers in this series, because like we said, like they kind of breezed by it when they got beat a little bit, but we got to actually see them on the losing end of a team that came out hungry. Like Pat Riley was saying, like, don't think shit is sweet just because we beat them last year. Like they're hungry.
They were celebrating before the series started. Like, oh, okay, now the Celtics, so we good. So they definitely got their
humbling,
for sure, and it was needed. something I wanted to say, and I'm gonna try to say this respectfully because we call out with other teams at times, and sometimes I celebrate the braggadocious things, and you always talk about the rude awakenings. This team definitely had a front runners mentality. Like they knew that they got to a point where they knew that they were the top dogs, and they need a moment like this to kind of snap them out of it, make them realize that you still have to go out there and compete every night. So they had a little bit of a front runner mentality for sure. But I'm glad that they got this moment to snap back to where they were. There was a great scene with Jeff Pearlman, who's the author of Showtime, which the show is based off of, and he talked about how something that he liked is the little things in the show, that there are little scenes in there that people often at times skip over, and things there are a bunch of those in this episode. For example, after this series ended, Jerry Buss is sitting in the stadium as the lights are going off, and Jeannie comes in and talks to him about just moving on to the next season, and he's sitting there, I think he's smoking a cigar or something, and he said, Red called it. Like he said when last like a effing prophecy. Like he called it, like sitting there just talking about how this is kind of what Red told him how it would play out. And seeing him sitting with that reality and how hurt he was by it, was a great scene. And then Jeannie was like, "Wait, let's just say she had a great response to it.
You could always go back to real estate or whatever."
Yeah. She's good.
Like, damn.
that one stung a little bit.
Yeah.
So the little things like that, they do a great job with. I love the dialogue in it. I know it seems a little bit like from afar, it can seem like just basketball we talk about, but there's a lot of great dialogue in here, and things like that scene were fantastic. So yeah, there's a rude awakening for the team, a rude awakening for the management, and they didn't want to go into the next season carrying on the same squad from the team that just lost. So they had some adjusting to do, and here comes our other LA guy. I don't know how to describe it at this point, but Donald Sterling. We're trying to get some guy. We're trying to get somebody in the building. Can we make a trade with you guys? I'll give you.
Just bought the team.
Yeah, just bought the team, and we're trying to bring some eyes ourselves. We'll give you. I forgot who the main guy was. We'll give you a center, I believe it was.
It was like a Swedish center.
Yeah. But we'll also give you Byron Scott, and they were like, okay, we'll take it. Like, who you want though? And then they had to sit down, and Jerry West, who's now the GM of the squad, got promoted to that spot. I was trying to figure out who they're going to send away in the trade. It couldn't be Kareem. It couldn't be Magic. Right. It couldn't be Worthy, who just got there. Who they talked about how they picked over Michael Jordan and things, and all of that. So like it had to be our favorite guy. Where did the picture go? It had to be Norm, man. It had to be Norm. So we talked about how sure the king you best not miss. The time finally came for Norm to I guess bite the bullet in a way. And go away from this Lakers squad. Sorry, I've been going on for a minute just trying to summarize the show, but yeah, just tell us your thoughts about how they moved into the next season and how they moved off of Norm to bring in the young guys in the process.
Yeah, I think it's always like fun to see the behind the scenes of like the roster construction that we see in the show, especially. Yeah. With Jerry West, like knowing what he has become as far as a respected basketball mind in the league, it's helped many organization improve their rosters. And so seeing that process, and of course there's the comedic element in there too. He's like, this ain't my first rodeo. Like, of course we're not sitting Magic or Kareem out there. But yeah, just kind of like seeing that process of like what went into like their decision making there. So the Clippers needed a starter. And it kind of got narrowed down to between Wilkes and Norm Nixon, and they're like, well, I mean, Silk was great in the finals, and one of these players is less of a headache. So like we know which way we're going.
we know.
Yeah. And then there was other elements too, as far as like the team kind of wasn't feeling Norm a little bit after they lost the finals, and he was in there dancing with Debbie Allen, like they had just won, like they were celebrating something, and the team's over there all salty.
Salute, man.
Hey, absolutely salute. You know, I had forgotten that Debbie Allen was his spouse. But yeah, absolutely salute to Norm. We understand, but the team was not feeling it in the moment after losing the finals.
Correct.
But they elected to move him for Byron Scott, and we obviously know it will pay off in the future. But getting traded on your birthday is rough.
I was gonna say they choose the worst time to make trades. They trade the last dude right after his wife had the twins or whatever it was. They traded Norm on his birthday. Like, yo, can they just find better times to move these guys? But it is what it is. That
Actually,
shows part
to that
of
point,
the value of the business. Go ahead.
To that point, real quick, just what you talking about it being like bad timing. I thought it was like a good point that like Magic like emphasized like these are guys' lives as far as like Jerry West like talking to him like
Yeah.
is he okay with them making the Norm Nixon trade? He's like, I mean, I don't want to just like go ahead and say yes. Like this is uprooting this dude's life, like his whole life kind of thing. And that's not something we always think about when we think about these players. Like they're like pieces on a chessboard at times and not like humans with families that they got to uproot their entire lives and move to a different city. So yeah, I thought that was a good point there and a good conversation there between him and Jerry.
Good conversation, and it led to Norm celebrating his birthday with the team, and he talked to Jerry West like, I know you always didn't like me, so it is what it is, and gave that final toast like, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna bust y'all ass when I get back to y'all. And we saw it come to light. I think that was early on in the season. As you've seen in recent times too, the Clippers in the regular season at least can beat up on the Lakers at times.
They dominate the Lakers
game back then also, Norm leading the Clippers to a victory, and the Lakers felt the effects of it. Before we jump further into it, you talked about the point of good conversation. And doing a slight backtrack, as I kind of mentioned, the Celtics on the flip side, with them not having the success that they had, seeing them from the other side, I thought they did a great job at the glimpses into what was going on over there. They didn't fully show as to why things kept falling apart. They had highlighted earlier on about how they got McHale and they got Parrish and all these guys now, so it should have been a great team. But they didn't really show why this team kept coming up short. But after they lost again and the Lakers went on to get swept in that series, there was a great conversation between Red and Larry Bird talking about how they had their moment, they had their minute, now it's going to be our decade, and the Celtics stuff, oh, rah-rah, whatever. We're joking right on us because we're Laker guys, but on a serious note with them, I thought that was great. And, yeah, do you get any takeaways from Red and Larry's discussion after seeing the Lakers go down?
No, I thought that was another good moment, of course, for sure. And we get a little bit more of, like you said, like the rah-rah side of Red, like towards the end. You get like the, I guess like the dichotomy, like between him and Dr. Bus, like the slightly different approaches towards the same goal. But you see, like he has the
what we say, different animals, same beast, same thing.
Yeah. He has the what's the Cardinals coach name? The new Cardinals coach talk about fired your gut or whatever. That
Cardinals coach or Lions coach?
No, the Cardinals coach, the Arizona Cardinals coach, who was talking about like
on that one, but yeah,
you got that fire in your gut or whatever, that kind of thing. Yeah, Red's actually a good motivational speaker there, but that was a cool moment between Red and Bird, and we got more of the budding rivalry that they want to see play out, kind of between him and then you get Magic on the other side too. They're always keeping tabs on each other. That's like a common theme throughout. So
in that talk as well, essentially talking about, again, great quotes. Red had his whole rah-rah speech about the Lakers not having the decade. This decade is going to be theirs, and how they're going to take over from there. And Larry's last words were, what do you say? I had it written down somewhere. Oh, I lost it. My bad. Oh, he was talking about how they're gonna take over and how they had their minute, and they was like, I hope not. I still haven't got my shot. Like, I'm still gonna come at them. I want to make sure I get them too. So they both wanted to match up, and as you said, they kept tabs on each other to make sure that it would come to fruition. To the point that, again, even to that last series, that the Lakers were rooting for the Celtics to win, and when they lost, that kind of was part of why things fell apart. So yeah, they for sure kept tabs on one another. And what was great to see. So, yes, great to see how that continued to play out. But back to the Lakers and what we were discussing with them. That's going back to where we were with Norman and what was going with them. The trades happened, and they brought in Byron Scott and the pieces there and got going on into the next into the next season. But along with that, Kareem was still trying to find his way. I thought, again, as we talked about before, it felt like for a long while Kareem was more of a side character in this. Like, he was just the wise character that came at a time, gave his piece and walked and backed off. But they got more into his story this time around, and definitely was a lot of great stuff. Great stuff, but sad stuff. It showed how he was aging and trying to find his way. It showed during the offseason as well. He was trying to figure out where he wanted to go. He wasn't sure if he would resign with the Lakers. Was trying to go to New York, and he didn't want him. He had to readjust, and all of that. I won't dive too much. Just what you think about how they handled Kareem in this episode.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to see. I think that's what we talked about towards the end of last episode, just wanting to see a little bit more of Kareem's story.
Correct.
And yeah, him truly, like he talked about the Knicks early last season, last basketball season, like in the show. And
Right.
then in with his agent in this offseason, he's talking about like, I want to go home, like I want to go
Mhm.
to the Knicks, and his agent's like, frankly, like they're not interested, and it's really like a personality thing. So it was cool to see him like grappling with his persona as
Mhm.
a person and as a player and a high profile celebrity, and like how he comes off towards the fans, and potentially that being kind of like a turning point, him seeing that other teams aren't really interested because of that, even with him being the superstar player that he is. They weren't too keen on him as a personality, bringing them into their franchise. So it kind of uh, something clicked in him. It felt like that he maybe needs to adjust, like kind of how he moves throughout the world.
One end he felt disrespected just by the lack of I guess of respect from others. But also again, as you pointed out, just also realizing that he had to change up a little bit. There had to be some give and take in the process to get what he wanted. So yeah, seeing him battle with all of that was great to see. And again, getting further dive into him, both as a person directly as Kareem, I think is great for us to see. But also the actor, I think, does a great job as Kareem depicting him too. So
Yeah.
just highlighting both. I thought what was very needed in this show further, and I'm glad that they got more to that. With it as well, there was a moment during that following season where I guess there was a time when I went and double checked, and it was as legit as can be.
Yep.
His house burned down, and
Right.
his wife and his son luckily were not harmed in the incident to any grand degree. They were asleep and were woken by the fire and were able to get out, but
Yep.
he lost a lot of his belongings in the process, a lot of his vinyls and things. And I gotta admit, I talked to Jeff Pearlman about vinyls and stuff.
Right.
We talked music. I'm not gonna lie. I would have fell to my knees, man. It would have been bad. If I had heard my whole vinyl collection was out, bro, I would have been, oh my God.
Oh my
I would
God.
have been on the floor. Oh goodness. So yeah, as much as Kareem was crying for his family, that's very real. I'm not dismissing that point at all.
Right.
But hearing how all his belongings were lost, they pointed out a lot of his vinyls and things were a part of that. Definitely, I felt his pain for sure, at least to some degree. So yeah, that was wild to see. And then to your point about having to adjust to the I guess the modern NBA at that time and wanting to be more visible in how he was. We had saw early on, I think even in the first season, Kate came up to Kareem like, "Hey, Kareem, what's up?" And he was like, "Yeah, here, like,
Yeah. He's like, F them kids. Yeah.
yeah, leave me alone." This time around, as he's walking to the locker room, kids come up and it seemed like it's just another moment, as this very scene you see here. And he had his headphones on, shades on, didn't want to talk to anybody. Obviously, the whole world knew the news, but he just wanted to go about his business. And at first, he was going to dismiss everybody, but kids started showing up with vinyls, like, "Hey, I got a vinyl here. I got a vinyl for you, man. I heard everything went down. Here you go." And again, as someone who has a sensitive side, that would have broke me too. So he had a little tear in his eye, like, "Oh my God, these people care." And it helped rile him up, get some motivation for him. And then to our point about him being the wise figure that he is and the captain that we know him to be, he used that to inspire the team as well, and gave a great speech. Something else to tie in. Actually, I won't go too far. Just what you think about how he was able to use his pain in that moment to rile up the team as well as they were trying to get back on track.
Yeah, as you touched on, like we saw the very standoffish side of him, even with children in season one, and like that appears to be like kind of like the person that he was for much of his career. Like not necessarily a harsh person, but kind of more reserved to himself, wanted to keep to himself, and wasn't too much about the fanfare, and was a bit standoffish to
Mhm.
fans. But him feeling that embrace from the LA community after that fire, I think again was a huge like turning point in terms of his approach towards the fans, the city of LA, and just being a celebrity in that city. And I think it was beautiful how he was able to use that to then light a fire under his teammates and kind of just preach to them the importance of being accountable to yourself and putting your best foot forward every single night, no matter the opponent, no matter what time of year it is. The fans come to see us. And the fans are using us as examples, like for their kids to look up to or be inspired by, and to see work ethic and that kind of thing. And I think that speech really hit home for the rest of the team, and as well as for Pat Riley, he was able to use that to help inspire these guys too, because he talked about as well just how like you can kind of get complacent after winning a finals, and he felt like the team was kind of resting on its laurels a bit. And I think Kareem coming in that moment was definitely pivotal in them turning their season up into another gear, and playing the type of basketball they're capable of.
That definitely was powerful, and I definitely appreciated that. There was a part of me that the reality is that I felt like it was a slight poke at the modern NBA as well. Like how he was talking about how like it felt like a slight jab at load management and things like that.
Maybe a good jab.
Because we follow the NBA closely and can make parallels sometimes where they may not be. But it seemed like when he was talking about showing up every night for the fans and caring for the things, I just think about the modern NBA and how the load management is such a big thing. I felt like I could see how current guys might watch that, like, okay, I get you guys are good. You stuck that little jab in there for us. I got the punch, and I appreciate that, and we'll make sure I put my best force forward on the court when I play on these days as well.
The guy on your shirt was the #1 proponent of that same message. Like fans paying their hard-earned money to come see me. Sometimes, like this may be the only NBA game they come to see ever, so I want to give them my best. Anthony Edwards was talking about the same thing this past season too. So some guys get it. Some guys have that dog in them and want that. Obviously, there's injuries. There's older guys that gotta,
always
take care of their bodies. But
yeah. So definitely a powerful point that I'm glad that they made. I guess on the quick topic of the slick jabs, I don't know if this was a jab, but I laughed. And going back to Kareem talking about his contract and things, he was talking to his agent about, like I'm about to break the scoring record, and the agent's like, okay, like if you're gonna break the record, they'll wheel you out every All-Star game, and it kind of was how it is in real life. Like they're gonna show you off every time, every All-Star game, they're gonna give you a moment, and that'll be it. So they kind of snuck that. I don't know if that's necessarily a jab at him, but it was funny. Just thinking about how things have. Just think about comparing things to today in slight ways. So that'll be a powerful thing. And seeing how someone today was able to go on and break that record himself. Yeah, I guess a quick salute to LeBron for what he's put together here and continuing the legacy of the Lakers to this day. So there's a lot of good stuff in that. And a lot of good stories with Kareem in this episode that I'm glad that they addressed. So a lot of great stuff there. Going on to other things in the episode. The other point I wanted to make was about in the midst of that, Pat Riley was trying to find his way with the team as well. Pat was trying to figure out what to say. And a powerful point added in another layer added to the Kareem speech was that before that, Pat was sitting there like, I don't know what else to say to these guys. Like I gave every speech I can give. I said what I could say. This team's getting too comfortable. And just as you pointed out, just how to stay up after you already had your success. So Kareem's speech definitely came at a perfect time, though it came from a sad moment. So I'm glad to see how they really carry on from there, and a lot of good stuff with it. That was a lot of the serious stuff with the episode, and we'll leave that there. Any comment on Pat before I go on to other stuff?
No, I already touched on that. So
okay, so that was that. On the fun side for us, we joke about it sometimes, but we got more of our favorite duo. Where does it go?
Magic and Cookie.
Magic and Cookie reunited, and Cookie is still playing her games for a while. She was still in Michigan for a while and trying to figure things out. Had a flight to, I guess it was San Diego or something like that for a business meeting and trying to work that out. And Magic was there like, you can't come to LA, like it's not that far away. Like what's the deal? Like come on. And then she was still playing hard to get. In my head, I was like, yo, just go up there. Like, why is it still dragging? Like, go ahead and get this done.
Right.
But she went to her meeting, and Magic skipped, I guess, preseason training camp or whatever it was early on to go see her and save her in a moment. Back then, we can a slight, quick little serious moment again. You know how they could treat black women back then, and she was about to get disrespected by this company, and they didn't want to give her moment. All of a sudden, Magic shows up, and they're like, "Oh, here we go, Magic. Oh, okay, we'll make sure we get her all accommodated." So, be that way because she deserved the spot, regardless of who she was connected to. But in that moment, I was glad to see Magic show up and save the day for her and that was used to carry on their storyline and fast forward things to where it should have been for a while as it seemed. And yeah, they finally stopped playing around. Cookie said, "One more time, I'm serious this time. Like this is it." And Magic gave a great speech inside of that. What that meeting hall wherever they were, and I laughed at all of that. Just any thoughts on Cookie and
Oh yeah,
how that story kept playing around.
Couple thoughts. First
Please,
off,
please.
salute Magic. I see your game when he swooped in and like saved the pitch and everything,
Mhm.
all casual and everything. I was like, I see what you're doing, Magic. I see what you're doing. You're trying to get her back. You're trying to get on her good side for sure and helping her out with this. Like I see you. I see you.
Mhm.
But I didn't mind the Magic and Cookies storyline as much here because with this depiction, like we got at least like some progression in the story, like with them
Yeah.
eventually him proposing to her and that kind of
They
thing.
progressed fast. It was like, all right,
Exactly.
there's one more chance,
Very
and it was like, all right, we here now. Let's just get to it. So
right.
I don't know if it probably didn't go that way in real life, but for
Yeah.
story's sake, I
Yeah.
was like, all
I'm
right,
happy. I'm happy for
let's
story's
just,
sake that it
yeah,
did progress that
let's
quickly.
move this along. We know what it is.
And then I guess last point on that was shout out to Virgil because whoever that dude is at home watching the show, man.
Oh, yeah. Every episode. Hey, not gonna lie,
He's taking a
not
beating,
gonna
man.
lie, bro. Justice for Virgil, man. Like, I don't know. They got so many strays for
So
no
many strays for no reason. She was
free
like,
that
I hadn't
man.
talked to him in months. He's like, oh, we good then.
Oh my god! Every episode it was Virginia. I was like, bro, what are we doing? So yeah, I'm in a way, I'm glad he's freed
Right?
from that mess and can go on with his life. Traumatized again by watching this, but yeah,
He got home like they playing with my name, man.
gosh, but yeah, glad this progressed and have you see how things move forward. And you see how things will continue from there. Again, not even trying to be on the funny stuff, but we kind of know where Magic goes from there again. So
For sure.
seeing how that plays out will definitely be interesting. So yeah, I appreciate the progression of their story to where we are now, because there was a moment immediately where the rest of the show is great, as we have said, but there was that moment at times where it felt like this kind of track. Like, all right. So yeah, glad that went on and fun things there, and looking forward to what's next. I guess on the other love story side going on there, we see what's going on with Jerry Buss and Honey there. Honey, from what I had known, was a more of a fictitious character that was a combination of people
like a combination of three different women,
people that
like that,
Jerry may have dealt with him in the past. But yeah, he dealt with a situation where he, in the show at least, will justice what was happening in the show. He was with her and things were going good, or at least he thought things were going good. And she didn't really dig, I don't think. I think people called, they said, and were asking the question and ended up revealing that he is not
he was still married to his ex-wife.
From his ex-wife. So finding out that she was not, I guess, not the only wife, really set her off to the nth degree, and she stormed out and left for good. So wild things going on with them. Any thoughts on just what do you do if you're Jerry in that situation? Like, he tried to, like, oh, I forgot, like, it's too late, man. You guys just kind of hold that up.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a tough thing because, like, it definitely is like, the relationship was a bit strained because of the work-life balance as well, too. Like, she was kind of, at first, I thought she was gonna say that, like, you're married to the Lakers, like, not that he was still married to his ex. I thought she was gonna say you're married to the Lakers.
There was that like at first for sure.
Yeah, and it's tough because like she knew what she signed up for as far as like getting into this relationship, getting married to him, while he is the owner of this Lakers team, who he's like incredibly passionate about. The other situation with still being married like to his ex, like it's tough because like he did know about it, he just like didn't prioritize it. So that's always no matter who it is, that's still gonna bother. That's gonna bother you. Absolutely.
Just sign the paperwork. Get over with.
And I was like, I didn't know you could have like 2 marriage licenses going at the same time. Like he's got one going and you get married to another woman while you still got.
If they don't know about each other and you just sign off, I mean, I guess.
I guess. But yeah, it's I guess a tough situation for Dr. Buss there, like, because clearly, like, he is married to the Lakers in a sense, like that is his kind of 1A priority, his passion. but he did like still have love for her. But I guess she didn't feel prioritized. So you can understand why the breakdown would happen. Absolutely.
Correct. So tough things for him, and was very interested to see how that gets handled. She left and came back with a grand lawsuit.
They give me that bread.
She's like, hey, if I'm out of here, I'm taking the bread with me.
Yeah.
I see the empire you built, and I'm taking it with me as you have ruined my life, as she seems to be saying. So very interested to see how that plays out, and it creates for a great finale. Before we fully get to the finale, though, we see how things progress beyond there, back to the court, and what's going on here. And the Lakers building up in 1984, the playoffs. And real quick, as I said, love the Lakers, but even though they're kind of rivals, the Kings are my second team. And we keep taking this small strays on the low.
Oh, I missed
it. Round, it was like Lakers Kings 3-0 sweep. And they kind of I was like, bro, like, come on. I was like, come on. Yeah.
Every time, it is what it is.
They just go on to Lakers breeze to the playoffs, get to the finals. No, this time let's break down the Kings. They swept up the Kings, swept the next guys. I'm like, all right, man, y'all got it, whatever. But yeah, the Lakers handled business for the most part, only losing maybe one game each round as they progressed to the finals. And the Celtics were doing the same. We got to a situation yet again where both squads were watching each other, and the Celtics were sitting there watching the Lakers, making sure they got to the finals. Lakers were watching the Celtics, making sure they got there as well. Jerry Buss was sitting in dark rooms, listening to the radio, making sure Celtics were playing the games and doing what they had to do and all of that. Everybody was locked in to this series and wanted this finally to happen, and it was finally leading to that moment. So a lot of great things there. And then to the rivalry they talked about, it was confirmed that they would get there, and Jerry Buss came into the locker room and said, hey, once we win this conference finals, there's no celebrating. We're just going to win this, and the real celebration comes as we finally beat this Boston squad, because this rivalry hasn't been rivalry for long. I know Jerry West was sitting in the locker room like, bro, you don't have to keep rubbing this in right now.
Every time.
We were like 0-7 in the past time we faced them. It's supposed to be a historic rivalry of the best of all time, but they've been kicking our ass, and we got to finally go and handle business. So seeing that speech definitely got me riled up, and we got great moments again between them. Before we get to that final moment, I want to emphasize, just talking about the Lakers-Celtics rivalry and the building up in this moment. They did a great job with that.
Yeah, that's something I talked about last episode when you asked, like, what I wanted to see more of is just the rivalry between them, and then the action between them on the court. But yeah, you see how much they both had real estate in each other's minds for sure. You see Magic checking out how many points Bird scored, Bird checking out how many points Magic scored, and them just constantly fixated on their opponent getting to the finals so that they can beat each other, because that's ultimately what they want. Winning titles against other teams, like, it's still gratifying, but ultimately they want to beat each other. I'm excited to see the budding rivalry continue out on screen for sure.
For sure, definitely great stuff. And again, just for us, again, tying things back into current day and things, just reiterated the meaning of the title to us, like just how powerful it is and how grand of an accomplishment that is. At times, feel like it gets kind of demands, like, oh, this guy won a ring, but whatever. Or we always hear about guys in the current day. Though I understand it, just guys always talking about how it's all about the money now these days. We make sure we get paid, and the ring we'll get if we can get it, but if we can get the money instead, like these guys, as much as they were getting paid, and Magic had his money, and Larry was getting paid, Kareem, as you see on here, we're all getting paid and all of that. If they weren't winning, they were not happy at all. And yes, they still could fall back on their millions and all the memes and all of that. But seeing how really they were affected by losing still, definitely is a powerful thing that I appreciated at this time. I hope it continues to be echoed in modern day as well. So yeah, definitely appreciate that. And then the continued rivalry, or the restarting, I guess, of the rivalry, as they kind of said, definitely continue to feel that, and rooting. Although we already know what's going to happen, just rooting for this Lakers squad and excited to see how it plays out in this show. So definitely great stuff.
To your point, it's always more compelling, especially even for us fans, when you know that the players are taking it personal.
Correct.
Like, you know that they are personally invested in it. Like we talked about with the mid-season tournament, like, are people going to care? Like, people are going to care only if the players are taking it personal and they care and want to compete like that. So when you see that Magic and Bird and the Celtics and the Lakers truly hate each other and want to rip each other's hearts out, that makes it all the more compelling and all the more gratifying and rewarding when you do get the victory. So yeah.
It's definitely more compelling, definitely more interesting. A quick side note that you may not have seen coming, but it just came to mind. You brought it up, and you talk about things that are really more intriguing. We saw just this last weekend with Colorado and Deion Sanders how he talked about how it's personal between him and Nebraska and what was going on there, and the whole world was tuned in and watching Colorado football, which is something we had never been doing before, and or not in our time.
No, we haven't. Nope.
So to see how he was able to rile that up, as much as it was for them. Him doing that on screen and showing the world that this is something that we all should care about because it's a personal, real rivalry between those two schools. Had us all tuned in. It had I saw videos of Wu-Tang on the sidelines and everybody you could think of being there. When things are truly it's shown that people care about stuff, it gets us all tuned in, and we definitely feel that as well in this series and with this rivalry between the Lakers and the Celtics, and appreciate all that's going on with this. So again, just love how they're handling it all. A lot of great stuff. The end of last episode with the Lakers watching the Celtics and getting the BLA, and they got the F Boston. We got a great moment yet again in a new way. This episode as well. We got the F Boston. I'll flash real quick and hide the bottom. I don't want to get the words get us banned or anything, but we got another moment of them saying F Boston. We got the Boston side saying BLA and all that stuff. It was just another great ending, and I loved to the show again. We sometimes do address just the breaking of the fourth wall as they do at times and how they handled that. I thought was fantastic. So very excited for the finale coming up next week. Episode 7 and next Sunday we'll be back to react to it all yet again, and just looking forward to what's going on with this show. And again, as I have on here, we need season 3. As this is, I would love to see more of it and excited to see how the story continues. So keep tuning into it as it needs all the views it can get to make sure it hits the marks to officially get greenlit, which is not just yet. So keep tuning in for sure. And any other words from you, Alec?
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. We can't leave off this series with Boston winning the finals, man, because we know what's about to happen. So we cannot leave off the series like that. We need all those arcs to finish out on screen for sure. But it's really excited for that finale, as we've said. It looked like a great one. It looked like a great one. Hopefully at least an hour episode, because they got a lot of stuff to kind of tie in and tie up in that episode too. So,
I made a joke episode too. Like they be rationing the whole season. But it's been so high quality of a show that we've still been enjoying it all, and I haven't minded the slightly shorter episodes, usually an hour now down to 45, 48 minutes at times. So I'm still okay with it, but we'll love a full hour of the finale there as we are now coming to a close on this season. So really excited for it all. We got a glimpse into it at the end. Last couple episodes they've been showing previews, but this time they did yet again, and we saw how there's going to be war going on between Jerry and Honey there. We see what's going to be going on with this series and all of that, and I'm very excited to see how it plays. And just make sure you tune in because it looks like it's going to be a great one. So that's all I have to say about this episode. A lot of great stuff there. Anything else you want to bring up real quick about this episode as we close out?
No, I don't think so. I think we hit it all.
I guess something else I pull out. In this last moment, there was also on the flip side with the Celtics. The Celtics are ready in the locker room, like the Lakers are coming. They're bringing their girls and their sissy fans. Hey, ain't no seats over here, man. Be respectful. That's all I gotta say. Celtic fans, being this with y'all, don't now. That's all I have to say. But
started talking about Paul Revere in the streets. Get off this American bullshit, man. Get out of here, man.
Come on, man. Paul Revere. Go somewhere with that.
You ain't trying to hear that, man.
Yeah, ain't like trying to hear all that. But excited to see how it all plays out. And we thank y'all for tuning in here. And we are always having great stuff here and tuning in to Winning Time as the series is going on grandly as well. So that is it. Again, appreciate y'all for tuning in as you guys do. Make sure you continue to like, rate, review, subscribe, comment, share. How you show love, we appreciate it all. We'll be back shortly to talk more about the NFL and what's going on. The season's got underway for a very fun first week of football already getting going that we surely will discuss. And looking forward to more on the way. There's news about Mike Trout going on in baseball we need to address. Some Dodgers news that we always talk about. There's a lot of sports stuff here in LA that can be just beyond Winning Time as well that we surely will get to. So thank you for tuning in as you guys do. We'll see you guys again real soon. Appreciate y'all, man. We out of here. Peace.
Deuces.